You obviously watched England as being an English commentator. What are your feelings on their performance and the overall feeling at the World Cup?
Well, England, Richard, had a good chance in the beginning because we won against France, which is one of the most difficult matches. So afterwards, we were expected to beat Czechoslovakia and Kuwait. But in doing that, Brian Robson was injured, and he was really one of the main pillars of our team, in as much as he was going to score the goals. Trevor Francis played reasonably well, but as the tournament went on and we went into the second phase, it became a lot harder to play against the Germans and to play against the Spanish in Madrid, and we really just ran out of goals. We were doing reasonably well, but I don't think that anybody really expected England to win the World Cup, but I thought that we might just make the semi-final. So we're a little bit disappointed, but really we couldn't look to be beating the Brazilians or beating the Italians in the type of form that they were in. I put this down mostly to us having really a very hard season physically.
Kevin Keegan not really utilized as much as I thought he might be.
No, well, he wasn't fit, and there was no way that he could play. He had a bad back, and he went across to Germany for a couple of days to try and eradicate it, but never had a chance really of playing. And Trevor Brooking, another one of our more experienced players, and someone who has a lot of vision, something else that really was missing in our play. Didn't do us any good being without him. But nevertheless, you know, there's some of the young lads that came and did reasonably well. But I think we did just about what we thought we might do, which was qualify for the second stage. But then we just ran out of goals.
I happened to be there as well, and I think climate played a big factor in a lot of the games. For example, I went to one in Malaga where the temperatures were a bit cooler, but then in Sevilla the temperatures were very, very hot. Up north, again, different climates. Do you think that played an effect on who advanced out of the different groups into the second phase and also the semifinals?
Well, I think it had a bearing on it, yes, certainly. In Seville it was roasting. The Brazilians, fortunately, were there, and they were quite used to that. The Russians suffered a bit. The Scots were a little unlucky, I thought. I thought that they played really well in the 3 matches and were unfortunate enough to come up against the Brazilians and lose the 4 goals, and they lost on the goal difference, but I thought that they played really well. But the climate did have a great bearing on the whole tournament. The goals that were scored really were South American goals, if I can put it like that. You know, the build-up slow, eventually get to the 18-yard box, maybe a little 1-2 and round, in you go. But nothing was done really very quickly from behind, which is more the European way of playing. But nevertheless, I really did enjoy the tournament. I thought it was tremendous.